Hi, I'm Jennifer Moore with the Mosby Heritage Area Association, coming to you today from Morven Park in Leesburg. Because this is a beautiful time of year, and because I think many of us could use a more uplifting topic lately, we're going to discuss garden clubs today and the local chapters in the heritage area. We are all a little bit saddened by the fact that for the first time since World War II, Historic Garden Week had to be canceled because of COVID-19. And so thank you for joining us today for a glimpse of a garden remotely. So the Leesburg Garden Club, which is what we'll talk about a lot today, was formed in 1915 along with neighboring Fauquier-Loudon Garden Club. Another local garden club, which was in Warrenton, was founded in 1911. So originally the Leesburg Garden Club was 4 ladies who met and loved to read the works of Charles Dickens. Then their focus turned to gardening, and that was that. It became a full-blown garden club from there. So this is the centennial year of the Garden Club of Virginia. 1920 they were formed, and the first historic garden week was in 1927, and it is still the only statewide house and garden tour each year. So it was originally started to raise funds to protect the trees on the lawn of Monticello that were planted by Thomas Jefferson. And so 2 years later, 1929, the Leesburg Garden Club joined up and had 2 homes and gardens on tour, and they raised $16 for the effort. So initially, the first several decades of being formed, the Leesburg Garden Club's big focus was equally vegetables and flowers. A lot of the members lived on local farms, as well as the members who lived in the downtown historic district, and so they had vegetable gardens, flower gardens, plantings that they could donate to the hospital here in Leesburg. They also maintained a garden at the hospital, and all the vegetables were donated for the patients in the hospital. Also, they canned fruit and vegetables, so they had fresh food for patients and staff alike at the hospital, even in the winter. So they also maintained beautiful gardens, flowering gardens at the hospital, so patients could look out of the window and feel somewhat uplifted. They could also decorate patients' rooms with these. So then, after that time, the next focus for Leesburg Garden Club became highway beautification and landscaping. And because of the enormous efforts of Leesburg Garden Club and other local chapters, in 1942, Loudoun County became the first rural county in the United States to adopt a zoning ordinance, specifically to prohibit billboards or highway advertising. And so even when folks come around to Leesburg, Loudoun County today that aren't from here, they immediately notice we don't have billboards. And so that is a huge legacy of the Leesburg Garden Club and other local chapters that we owe them a debt of gratitude for. So then going into more recent contributions from the Leesburg Garden Club, they of course have decorated the town of Leesburg on the light poles as gorgeous hanging baskets. They also hang seasonal wreaths on town-owned properties. They made the garden or the park area at Douglas Community Center. They maintained and protected the Broad Run Bridge. They annually give a college scholarship and send a student to nature camp. And they made a wonderful native tree walk at Ida Lee, which I've done with my children. So some of the earliest properties that were placed on Historic Garden Week in Leesburg include Oak Hill, of course, Oak Hill being President Monroe's home, Rokeby, Oatlands, the Oatlands Hamlet, Little Oatlands, the Norris House, Harrison Hall, the Noland House, and of course, what we're going to talk about next, Morven Park. So I will turn it over to my friend Jana Shaffagosh, the Director of Preservation and History here at Morven Park, to talk about one of the most famous Leesburg Garden Club members, Mrs. Davis from Morven Park.
I'm Jana Shaffagosh, the Director of Preservation and History here at Morven Park. As you just heard, Marguerite Davis was a member of the Leesburg Garden Club. She was also First Lady of Virginia from 1918 to 1922 when her husband Westmoreland Davis served as Governor of Virginia. Marguerite Davis created the Boxwood Gardens here at Morven Park in 1929 and 1930. It's a colonial revival style boxwood. It was happening the same time as Colonial Williamsburg and the National Cathedral were installing their boxwood gardens. She purchased old growth English box from estates throughout Virginia. Of course, 1929-1930 was an excellent year to get some great deals on the old growth box. They were shipped here via train and installed here at Morven Park. This was her passion for the rest of her life, and she really advocated for every lady to have a boxwood garden on her estate. Unfortunately, our boxwood gardens are just a bit of a ghost of what they were during Marguerite's time. We got hit with the boxwood blight in the 1960s and 70s, and almost all of our old growth English box is now gone. But we do have all the American box, and you can still enjoy the shady, cool green gardens throughout the summer.